Hey everybody, this is Shalece, compulsive eater, food addict in Phoenix, Arizona. Talking about amends, it was just thinking as Lulu was sharing her experience of an amends that she made to a cousin, a situation came up into my mind about an amends that I thought I needed to make to an ex-step. This is going to be very confusing, but I'm going to say it anyway. An ex-step mother-in-law. Got it? Okay. So without sharing any details, just as my husband's father's second marriage had ended, it ended probably maybe 3 years before I went into recovery or so, and circumstances made it to where we needed to separate ourselves from ex-stepmother-in-law for certain reasons, and there was some guilt and maybe a little bit of shame attached to that for me, fear about what she thought about how we ended things, and a lot of that came up. And so in working through a resentment, those feelings, again, it wasn't anger or irritation or anything, but the resentment was that fear or kind of sadness a little bit about how that relationship ended. And in talking with my sponsor about it, I just said, I feel like I just need to make an amends. And again, Facebook comes into play here. We were still we're Facebook friends and not really commenting or anything on each other's posts, but one of her daughters had gotten engaged and I had posted something on that and she responded. And anyway, there was just it just kind of stirred things up a little bit for me and just a little bit of regret. So I did some work with my sponsor on it, and I thought that I needed to make an amends for how the relationship had ended and how, we weren't friends. That this relationship that was once close became distant, and it just felt uncomfortable to me. And so in working through that, my sponsor asked a lot of really important questions that maybe wouldn't have occurred to me. And one of those questions was, well, no, would this amends be, would you be restarting a relationship with her? And how does your husband feel about that? And, would this amends be to relieve your own guilt about how things had changed? So a lot of the way that we get to where those amends need to be made are my sponsor is able to ask questions that maybe will uncover things that hadn't occurred to me. And so I spoke, with my husband, and we decided, it would not be in our best interest to rekindle a relationship with this woman, and that it was okay just the way that it was. And so taking that back, just saying, what kind of amends, if you're going to her and saying, well, I'm sorry that the relationship ended badly, and I'm sorry if, for whatever I was thinking needed to be said, and then you follow that up with, but I still don't want to have a relationship with you. That's harmful. That hurts. So it's not only bringing up the past, but it's also going to be a jab, even if it isn't intended as causing harm, that would cause harm. That would cause a great deal of harm. And so it was just really kind of peaceful, even just to work through that, talk about it, and see how that could cause harm. And then realize that the relationship is perfect just the way that it is, that it served its purpose. Something that I'm learning is that a close relationship is not necessarily better than a distant relationship. Each relationship in its own right is is the laboratory of the spirit, right? A laboratory of the soul, whether it's close or distant. Each relationship, no matter where it's at, can be a learning experience and a growing experience, and one isn't better than the other. A close relationship isn't necessarily better. Maybe it feels better, but I can enjoy a distant relationship with someone that was once close, just as much as I can enjoy a close relationship, just and I can find gratitude in that, just being exactly where I'm at, and allowing the other person to be exactly where they're at as well. So that's just one of the experiences that I had with and almost in discovering where making amends might cause harm. Thank you for letting me share.